It's the exclusive inside story of the new king of the skies, the Airbus A380. Now, you may already know I'm pretty crazy about planes. In fact, this isn't just a costume. I'm very proud to have been trained as a first officer for the Australian airline Qantas. So this is a real treat for me, too. In previous shows, we've witnessed the struggle to develop and build this new machine. And now comes the ultimate test, the first ever flight of the world's largest commercial airplane. It's a calculated risk, and it requires nerves of titanium. So sit back, don't forget to fasten your seatbelt. We may be expecting some turbulence.
April 27th, 2005, Toulouse, southwestern France. Inside this massive plane, 6 men are about to make aviation history. Spread around the airport are an estimated 50,000 spectators, each hoping to catch a glimpse of the giant new machine.
This is what it's all about. Whether you're an aviation or an engineering enthusiast or not, this is still a very significant day.
Today is the big day for us. Now everything will pay off, in terms of sweat, in terms of time, in terms of problems we had in the past, and now today everything is reset to zero, and we look forward to see this baby fly.
Getting to this moment has taken over $10 billion and more than 10 years of effort. Building this aircraft has been an extraordinary achievement, and this is the exclusive inside story of how it was done. The major parts were made in Spain, France, Britain, and Germany. In an amazing feat of logistics, they've been carried by barge, ship, air, and road. Thousands of miles to the massive assembly line in Toulouse, southwestern France. High-tech laser-guided machinery has been used to join the prototype together. The engines, landing gear, and cockpit have been designed and built. And in a glitzy ceremony, the aircraft revealed to the world. This is the latest chapter of the tale, as pilot and passenger safety systems are tested, and engineers battle to get the A380 airworthy. 154 planes are already sold, so if the prototype fails to fly as well as hoped, the consequences could be catastrophic.
Of course the airplane will fly. There's no question about that. The real question is, does it meet its performance goals? Everybody around the world is going to be watching. Is the airplane doing what Airbus said it would do? Is it performing the way Airbus said it would perform?
The stakes are high. If the A380's a failure, it could bring down the company. If it's a success, it will supersede the Boeing 747 and allow Airbus to make a simply enormous amount of money.
Is this about money? Of course it is. Think about the revenue potential. Each airplane sells in today's dollars at a catalog price of about $300 million. Now, over 20 years, our global market forecast is about 1,600 aircraft. That would be 480 billion US dollars. Suppose you only get half of it, 240 billion US dollars at catalog price. Now that is an awful lot of money.
With so much riding on the performance of this machine, there is intense pressure on the men and women of Airbus to deliver.
It's like the final climb to the peak of Everest, let's say. The last sort of 10, 20 feet when the oxygen levels are so small is often the most difficult part of the journey, and that's essentially where we are at the moment in terms of this aircraft.
Simon Sanders is in charge of testing the landing gear, one of the most safety-critical systems. In just 56 days' time, the pilots' lives will depend on these 22 wheels, retracting and extending come what may.
Donc c'est parti, maintenant on va faire une rentrée du train.
Altogether, the gear weighs the same as 20 family cars and must be lifted into the belly of the plane in just 13 seconds. Getting the system operational has taken months of hard work, but now it looks as if they're finally making progress.
The last few months have been very frustrating because we've had obviously a lot of technical difficulties with systems on the aircraft. We've had a lot of problems during testing, so we've all been working very, very, very hard in order to have all of our systems all working for first flight.
Hey! Woo! So that's system 1, looking good. This is why we're here. Days like today is why you do this job, because it's very exciting to see the gears moving, and you spend an awful lot of time making sure that the right parts are where they should be, and so I've been waiting for this for months.
The last step is to simulate a worst-case scenario. Even if all power was lost during flight, the pilots must still be able to lower the wheels to land. To do this, there's a backup system that simply lets the gear fall down under its own weight. The test is risky because the wheels will collide with the doors as they drop, and damaging anything at this stage could delay the project.
So this is the big test, yeah.
The outer doors begin to open under their own weight. Any second now, the locks that hold the gear up will release. Immediately, it's clear that something has gone wrong. Next, the massive 6-wheeled main gears deploy. And after a delay of 16 seconds, the jammed outer wheels slip free. It's not a good result.
We've worked as hard, we've done the best we possibly can, and we are where we are at the moment. For me, it's something to get stuck into, something to understand, something to find a solution.
Without delay, the team try an experiment to find out where the wheels are snagging. A dab of grease on a guide ramp, where the wheel is supposed to push the door open, should prove if this is quite literally the sticking point. The ramp is the problem. The team need to find a more permanent solution, and fast.
So, the first giant plane is nearly ready. Billions of dollars have been spent. Millions of hours of work have been done. But there's a long way to go. We'll be back very soon.
The Airbus A380 is a global project, and here in Phoenix, Arizona, another set of engineers are developing another essential safety system. The A380 needs 16 escape slides, each one custom built to meet stringent regulations. And that means a lot of work. Each slide is designed on computer, and this is one of the most complex on the whole plane, the over-wing slide. Today it will be tested for real, a critical time for the engineers.
This is a brand new slide. It's fresh out of our prototype department, and it's never been deployed, it's never been slid on, and the pressure is on.
The slide fits in a small pack, which is mounted to a full-size mock-up of the plane. It allows passengers to get from a door here, across the wing to the ground, deploying, almost as if by magic, from here.
3, 2, 1!
regulations say that 850 passengers must be able to get out of an A380 in just 90 seconds. And the only way to prove the slide is up to the job is to use real human beings. 40 people will take part in the test, and the first step is to get everybody warmed up.
Everybody does it. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on.
Ted Oney, who'll be running the test, is wearing a rather special shirt.
This is my lucky Hawaiian shirt, of course. Every time I want to run an evac, I wear this shirt. So when people in the plant see me in this shirt, they know we're running an evacuation test.
The aim of the test is to show the slide can hold up to the weight of the evacuees and allow a safe but speedy exit in an emergency.
Our slide will have to have 40 people traverse down the slide in less than 17 seconds. That meets a rate, that meets our specified rate. So in the grand scheme of things, we'll be able to say that we could evacuate the entire airplane within 90 seconds.
Sliding can be dangerous, and part of Ted's job is to make sure nobody gets hurt.
You're evacuating an aircraft, you need to do it quickly, but I want you to do it safely because your safety is high on my concern list, okay? Remember, getting out of that aircraft, it's in a hurry. All right, we're gonna start in a minute, so put on your helmets, strap them down, let's rock and roll.
Stop shaking these stairs.
We've gone through literally a year and a half worth of development tests to get to this point. If it doesn't work today, then we've got to go back and redesign the slide. This is what it's all about today.
Okay, countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, guys. Out the door. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Go. Go. Go.
Although some of the volunteers stumble, nobody gets hurt.
Oh, wow.
17 seconds.
That was great. It's always good to get the first one.
It was pretty good, you know. Somebody fell right in front of me. I had to jump over them. They were just too close.
In these tests, the passenger's weight is the main consideration. So the engineers are allowed to use able-bodied volunteers. It's a good thing, because 2 hours of solid sliding are needed to prove the design.
You got some bounce on that one. You okay?
At the very end comes the most dangerous test of all. To simulate an evacuation in a rainstorm, the slide is sprayed with water. It's risky because now everything is much more slippery than before.
As the water puddles on the floor at the toe end of the slide here, it means the landing surface is slick. People are used to landing normally, and suddenly it's much more slippery, and if we don't do our job right, we get a pile of bodies at the bottom.
Go, 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 go! Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, go, 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 go! Come on, come on, come on, come on! Yeah! All right, yeah! All right, have a seat, have a seat. Great job, everybody, great job.
I'm not doing that no more. No way. I quit.
Excellent, excellent evacuation.
I'm very pleased. Yes, I'm happy with that. There wasn't a lot of bumping. The slide did well.
So that's one down, just 15 more slides to go.
Hi, I'm John Travolta. You're watching the world's biggest airliner, the A380, on TLC. Don't go away.
Research and development are crucial to the success of any new aircraft. And in Hamburg, Germany, Airbus have been tackling a sticky problem on a plane the size of the A380. Laid out here is a full-size test rig of the waste system for the plane. With up to 20 toilets and around 3,000 feet of piping, it's a big job. Zenel Murtal and Dennis Kaiser have been hard at work for the last 2 years.
We will give you a short demonstration of a toilet flush on the A380. So at first we have to evacuate the toilet system. I can start this, it will get a little bit loud.
The toilets work by pumping air out of waste tanks in the rear of the plane, causing a partial vacuum. When a toilet is flushed, air is sucked in to fill the vacuum, and the waste is drawn down the pipes into the tanks. In the finished aircraft, these parts are made of titanium to save weight, but here Perspex is used for clarity. This is race car technology for toilets. And the result is some seriously speedy sewage.
The speed on the piping is around 60 meters per second.
60 meters a second is 130 miles an hour. Such high-performance plumbing is needed because of the size of the plane. At 240 feet long, the toilets at the front are a long way from the tanks at the rear.
This is the most forward toilet in the A380, the one what the pilots normally would use. It is quite difficult because you have a pressure loss from the waste tanks to this toilet because of the length.
It's a challenge not to be sniffed at, but undeterred, the guys give it a go. Just seconds later, the waste arrives at the tank, and flushed with success, the engineers bring the A380 another step closer to reality. March 14th, 2005, and the prototype is parked outside the factory here in France. Technically, the customers for this plane are the test pilots, who will fly it for the first time. But there's still a lot of work to be done before they'll accept it. This is Charles Champion, the 48-year-old head of the entire $11 billion project. He's come to check on progress, something he tries to do at least once a week.
Just by going around the plane and by discussing with the people, you actually, first of all, have a feeling of what remains to do, but also you have, I would say, a good feeling of where they are and what needs to be done and what are the critical areas.
At least it's not all bad news.
That's the most important part. The coffee machine for the flight test crew. If this doesn't work, they will never take the aircraft.
Joking aside, it's clear that the plane is far from ready. The landing gear is just one of the things that need to be finished.
We still have a lot to do. There is a lot of activity. So some of it is related to troubleshooting and other related to closing the area. But we do have a lot of people still working on the aircraft.
The next day, the first customers turn up for a photo shoot. These are the 6 men who will fly the A380 for the first time. Between them, they have 176 years of test flight experience. And within minutes of the last shot being taken, they're in the plane, checking out the new machine. For Flight Test Director Fernando Alonso, it's important to feel comfortable at his post.
This is the place where I will be sitting for the first flight, and it'll be almost my home for the next months ahead. Yeah.
Using a bank of screens and readouts, Fernando will be able to monitor everything happening to the plane in real time.
This screen, for example, it's what we call the flight display. So it shows us the aircraft pitch attitude and bank angle. It shows us the speed, the angle of attack, the altitude, the heading. Then it gives us some information about the engines, of the configuration, flaps and slats, of the fuel quantities, of the autopilot engagement mode. So just by having a glance at that screen, we have a very good overall picture of the airplane.
The aircraft is equipped with sophisticated flight instrumentation, thousands of sensors that record every aspect of the plane's performance. Gathering this precious data is the primary purpose of the test flight program.
If on the day of the first flight, the flight instrumentation does not work, we will not fly. So it's, I think that sums it up, you know.
But despite the seriousness of the task ahead, there's no doubt the A380 is beginning to generate a real buzz.
It's really great to be here. We've been waiting for it so long, and now we're almost there.
You know, people often wonder, what's the thrill in flying a commercial airliner? Well, surely it's just the same as driving a bus, right? Yeah, well, a bus that weighs the same as a small house with enough power to light a small city and years of training to master. Believe me, flying the A380 will give a huge rush to anyone with blood in their veins.
March 30th, 2005, and the prototype of the world's biggest airliner is in the hangar again, as engineers perform final checks. The moving surfaces are working, but one safety-critical system still remains unproven. The last set of landing gear tests, almost a month ago, didn't go well. The wing gear snagged on the door and needed some grease to make it work. Now Simon Sanders is back for a last-ditch attempt to prove that the landing gear will deploy smoothly. His team have been working round the clock to solve the problem.
This is the ramp on the wing gear door where we put the grease last time. Now for a more robust solution, we've applied a layer of Teflon paint, which is similar to the Teflon, the coating that you have on non-stick frying pans. So this will reduce the friction when we do the freefall. We're going to now perform the test to demonstrate that with this low friction Teflon coating that we've solved the problem.
Gérard Desbois will be on the first flight, and he's here to represent the flight test department. If Gérard is not happy, the first flight will be delayed. This is make or break time.
I want to be sure on this aircraft, before taking the aircraft in the flight test department, that the landing gear is working perfectly well. If it doesn't work, I will refuse the aircraft until the system is completely safe.
As the gear is retracted for the test, everyone is aware that they cannot afford to fail. In the cockpit, the system is primed.
C'est parti, je lance.
Despite the Teflon coating on the ramp, the left wing gear still catches on the door, but at least it slips free faster this time. If the plane were flying, the airstream would probably shake the gear free sooner still, but it's up to Gérard to decide whether he's happy to accept the plane as it is.
It's not marvelous, but it is working, and at least even if the left landing gear is not extended at the same time as the right one, yes, I think I will accept it.
The team will continue to refine the system, but at least the plane can now be handed over to the test pilots department. Flight test director Fernando Alonso is taking the chance to look round the plane to check that nothing has been missed in the final push.
Like always, at the end, if there's a big rush, we'll get very excited. But at some point in time, you need to take a decision. Okay, now stop. It's over, and we take it over, because otherwise it will just go on forever and ever. So.
The plane is equipped with everything needed for the testing to come, including these water tanks to simulate the weight of hundreds of passengers. But in the rush to get the plane ready, something's been overlooked. The cabin lights are not working.
Cabin illumination is switched off.
No.
So we have no possibility to switch the cabin illumination.
I need the lights.
The cabin lights
need to have them on.
to be on.
We have been having handover meetings for the past 2 weeks. Nobody ever said that the cabin lighting was not working. Nobody ever mentioned the limitation. Nothing was said about lighting. So now we put on the breakers. If something burns, it will burn.
With Fernando's words ringing in their ears, the engineers get to work. And in no time, the lights are on. Immediately, the mood changes, and the plane can officially be handed over.
And I have the key of the aircraft.
For Gerard, it's just like taking delivery of a new car.
L'avion contre la voiture. On a une tradition en France.
We have a tradition here in France. If you buy a new car, for example, the dealer throws in a bunch of flowers for your wife. Here you can see we have a beautiful bunch of flowers, hand-picked by the engineers from the side of the runway. So we've kept up a marvelous French tradition.
At last, the A380 is towed across the airfield, leaving behind the factory where it was assembled. It's a journey of only a couple of miles, but it signifies the beginning of its new life at the flight test department, where the pilots are based. Quite a crowd has turned out, and the question on everyone's lips is how long will it be till the plane flies? Previous aircraft have taken about 2 weeks from this stage, but Fernando Alonso won't be pinned down to a specific date just yet.
I really do not want to be under the pressure of saying it's 10 days or 2 weeks. I don't know. It'll be when it'll be. And nobody is keener and more eager to fly than we are. So I think you just have to rely that as soon as we feel that the airplane's ready, we will fly.
Hi, I'm John Travolta. Stay tuned for the next chapter in this incredible story.
These are the men who'll fly the Airbus A380. Flying any new plane is a calculated risk, but with an average of 18 years at Airbus, they have the experience needed. On previous programs, they've performed takeoffs with runways flooded with tons of water. They've deliberately scraped the fuselage along the ground during takeoff, and they've flown aircraft to Siberia to test them at 50 degrees below zero. Plus, of course, they've thrown passenger planes around in the most extreme maneuvers. For Airbus chief test pilot Jacques Rosé, it's a challenging but satisfying job.
It's something which is rather demanding. It asks you to be at your best level permanently, because you cannot cheat. You are really flying in real conditions, and it's something which is stimulating, I would say.
Within the next 12 months, Jacques and his team will be pulling maneuvers like this in an A380. But all that depends on getting the plane working and into the air for the very first time. Step one is to troubleshoot the aircraft, to make sure they're familiar with the plane and that everything is working properly.
Ça, c'est un cup-holder, ça. Ah ouais, les cendriers, oui.
Non, mais les cendriers, il n'y a plus de raison d'en conserver.
Ah bah, c'est les chewing-gumriers.
La tabagie est en voie de disparition.
Pour ceux qui bouffent des chewing-gums, il faut bien qu'ils puissent les coller. Sinon, ils vont les coller sous l'FCU.
On y va là ou pas?
Oui.
On peut y aller?
Tu peux refaire un coup de freinage sans parking brake si ça ne dérange pas.
Là, j'ai pas de parking brake.
Alors tu relâches les pédales, voilà.
C'est normal de 300 degrés, c'est bon.
Brake saute.
Ouais, ça marche.
By April 8th, the team are ready to test the engines.
To start the engines, there's one ignition, which is that one for the APU. That'll start engine number 1. That'll start engine number 2. That will start engine number 3. And that'll start engine number 4.
With emergency crews on standby, the A380 can at last start to come to life.
Le sol pour le 2. Prêt pour le 2. 2, 1, top. Main ouverte.
The smoke is caused by a protective layer of oil burning off as the engines are run one by one. Testing and monitoring the engines takes 2 long days. But at last the aircraft can move under its own power for the first time. The next 10 days are spent on further detailed checks on the ground, and the A380 becomes a familiar sight at Toulouse International Airport, taxiing up and down. Gradually, the speed is increased, and most importantly, the brakes are tested. By the look of the tires after the tests, the brakes are well up to the job. Confidence in the aircraft is growing every day.
There's still some little things to be fixed, but we're getting closer. Every day we're closer.
45.
Each of the flight test team has a very specific job, and flight test engineer Jackie Joie's role is to monitor the engines. On the way back from one of the ground runs, Jackie thinks he may have spotted a serious problem.
I saw it while we were taxiing back from the inside. Yeah. No, I saw that there was a white spot that looked suspicious. Okay.
He suspects something has gone into the engine. Whatever caused these white marks could have damaged the $15 million power plant. Replacing the engine would almost certainly delay the first flight, and Gerard Desbois arrives to give his expert opinion.
Non, c'est uniquement de la craie. Tu déconnes. Ouais. C'est ça? Fais sortir.
It is a bird.
Tu déconnes.
Ah bah tiens, arrêtez.
Et arrête. Là, il a raison. It's bird. If that's the bird, where did the bird go?
He was scared. He was really scared. Really scared.
Là? Voilà.
2 days later comes a stark reminder of the dangers facing the team. Jim Fawcett has to make sure that they're familiar with all the safety kit on board, including an emergency escape chute, should the unthinkable happen.
So, we have an emergency evacuation system. This is fired by pyrotechnic handles in the cockpit and in the flight test engineer's station. They drive a firing door which is down the bottom of this tube here in the main cargo door. The crew can come and jump safely out through this door and with the aid of a parachute get down safely to the ground.
Allez, c'est parti.
After 2 weeks of hard work, there's one final test. The engines are brought to full power for the first time. Accelerating hard, the plane reaches 130 knots, almost 150 miles an hour.
109, 110,
La VR est bonne.
120, 130.
And the brakes are applied.
Reverse de verte. Pas mal la reverse. C'est bien, c'est bien. Et les spoilers, c'est bon.
With that, the world's biggest airliner is ready to go.
80,
Relâche les freins.
70,
Reverse idle. Je relâche les freins.
60.
Pas mal. Pas mal, pas mal. C'est bon tout ça, ça. Bon, ouais,
Engine 1 and 2 minor fault.
Ouais, comme d'hab. Ouais. Pas d'alarme en
Fan.
Bon, ouais, ça va. Impeccable. Impeccable.
So this is it. After the break, it's crunch time. The mother of all first flights, the maiden voyage of the new Airbus A380. Cool.
The day of the first flight has arrived at last.
I just hope the day goes by very, very, very slowly. I want to I want to profit every single second of it. So I just want things to happen very, very slowly.
Now you think of what you're going to have to do, so it keeps your mind busy. It's difficult to sleep properly, but it's a special day. You can do without the extra hours of sleep. I will catch up tonight.
Over 50,000 people have come to watch.
It's the largest airplane in the world, and it's going to stay the largest for a couple of years, I guess.
It's amazing what they have achieved with this aircraft. You have to imagine that there are nearly 600 people on board of that kind of aircraft, and that's really amazing. They can be proud of it.
This is what it's all about. Whether you're an aviation or an engineering enthusiast or not, this is still a very significant day.
Today is really the day for the A380 and all of us who have worked on it, so we're all having our fingers crossed to be sure everything goes well, but afterwards I think there's going to be quite a few fiestas tonight, I tell you.
The first flight will last about 4 hours, and as the pilots make their way to the plane, all around the airport preparations are being made. In a building 500 yards away, dozens of engineers are gathered in the control room, where they'll be able to analyze live data sent from the aircraft. A light jet will act as a chase plane, able to watch the A380 from the air and report on any problems. Hundreds of journalists are waiting to relay the story to the world. The crew must wear full safety equipment for the first flights, life jackets, parachutes, and helmets. And they're strapped in tight.
Jackie, on peut faire descendre les gens? Oui, d'accord. Vous n'avez plus besoin? Bon, Gérard, ils sont d'accord derrière. On va fermer les portes. On va fermer les portes. Oui, shot dedans.
The engines are started, and the aircraft pushed back. On the far side of the runway, Christian Polite, whose team fitted the tail fin, is just one of the thousands who have worked so hard to get to this point.
In the last seconds before takeoff, I mean, I don't think that I will think anything about it. Just cross the fingers and get it off the ground, yeah?
At exactly 10:18, the A380 is lined up on the runway, and final preparations are made. Inside the plane, the only problem seems to be the strap on Fernando's helmet.
Jackie, oui, tu peux m'accrocher ça, j'arrive pas. Oui, ça va être ça. Regarde, attends, je vais me lever. Je vais donner un coup de poing. Hein. Ouais. T'as rien à faire. Messieurs arrivent. Ils en sont au coup de poing? Oui. Ça devient grave là. Non, non, je te redonne un coup de poing, fais gaffe. Ça fait mal? Non, non. Non. Là, il y est. Là, c'est bon. J'ai survécu. Bon, messieurs, le point 3 est fini, le skip shoot est armé chez moi. Chez nous aussi. D'accord. Allons-y.
At 10:29 and 32 seconds, the throttles are open.
Les dots.
was an excellent demonstration altogether. And it was really like a diamond in the sky, stable and moving away. Really nice, really nice.
13. 179. C'est bon. Parfaitement équilibré.
The next 4 hours will be spent gently probing the aircraft's abilities.
Allez. Maestro numéro 1, messieurs. Alors là, c'est là que les atterrissages. Allez, vas-y. 3, 2, 1, top. Alors, les portes s'ouvrent du body. Tout est nominal. Je vois les bodies rentrer, les wings rentrer. Les bodies sont ouvertes encore, les portes. Top, les bodies se ferment. Le train est rentré.
The flight is a remarkable demonstration of modern aviation technology.
C'était un vrai plaisir, hein? Ouais, vraiment comme au cinéma.
After years of effort, and at no small risk to the company, the men and women of Airbus and their hundreds of partners and suppliers can at last say that they have built and flown the largest airliner the world has ever seen.
Your plane has completed its maiden voyage. After 10 years and more than $15 billion in development, the Airbus A380 took a 4-hour test flight today. The double-decker aircraft can carry as many as 840 passengers on commercial flights, although the usual configuration will see it carry 550 travelers. Singapore Airlines will put the new plane into service in the new year.